Hey everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and today I'm going to show you one of my club cards. But before I start, I wanted to show you that I got my new mat. So this is the Stampin' Up glass mat. As Stampin' Up demonstrators, we were allowed to pre-order these mats, and it comes with two accessories. This is a silicone mat, and then this is a cleaning cloth. So it was damp, so it's a little thinner. It's actually a lot thinner. Where is mine? Then the chamois, I'll show you. This is the Stampin' Chamois. This is the cleaning mat, so you can see the difference hopefully there. It's definitely considerably larger, and it is a lot more flexible, I guess you could say, so you can use it to clean up when you're using your glass mat. And then this is the silicone mat. So it was, I think it was a little confusing because we already have a silicone mat. This is the regular silicone mat that you can order. I think it's 6x6. Yep, 6x6. So this is in the catalog. This is great for like adhesives, coloring. You can see I colored ribbon on here. Adhesives, hot glue. Nothing sticks to it. It's very easy to clean. You can rinse it under water, or if you have like stuff that gets stuck to it, it just pretty much peels off. So this is the original silicone mat. This is more of a silicone tray, I guess you could say. So this has some spots in it. You can put Stampin' spots in it. You could put your ink or your ink refills. You could put your ink here. You can fit your ink pad there. So actually we'll use it for this. That way, if you were, say you were gonna blend and you wanted to, well, it doesn't stay completely still. I haven't tested it yet. So full disclosure, this is my first time using it, but you can keep your ink there. So let's just, I'm gonna just use this because I haven't used it yet. So I just have my blending brush. If you wanted to, you could blend onto, let's just say you're blending onto your cardstock, or your cardstock. And then afterwards, this is not really wet because it was just damp out of the package, but you can clean up your glass mat. And to clean, surprisingly, it's clean. So I guess they went with gray, maybe because the purple gets kind of messy, so don't really know 100% one way or the other. You can also put ink colors here if you wanted to blend colors together, or if you were going to blend off, say if you wanted to blend off before you were touching this to get just a softer image, and then you could blend your ink onto something, because you know we're always, if you ink something up, you want to tap off to the side. So there's something you can do. Let me just move this over, close this up. I don't know about the staining capabilities, or what is capabilities? That's not the word I want to use. The properties of this. I'm not sure if it does or doesn't come clean completely, because I just don't know. I just got out of the package. So maybe red wasn't the best thing for me to try with it, but I guess we'll see. You may be able to, just like the other silicone mat, take this downstairs and rinse it, or take it to your sink and rinse it with water. But I'll let you know as we get there. I'll let you know what happens with it. So I just wanted to show you that before we started creating our first card. So this combination, this glass mat, this is something that during celebration, which begins January 4th and it runs through February 28th, you can actually, if you join my team, you can actually choose this as part of your starter kit. So during celebration, they always have different offerings to maybe make it a little bit better of a deal, because it's already great, because you can choose $125 typically for $99. It ships for free. But during celebration, they kind of up the ante for you to get more for your money. So you can either get this as a freebie. So you get the glass mat, and it does have feet on here. And I don't think I can zoom out now because I already zoomed in, but I'm gonna pick it up and show it to you. It has these little feet right here. Oh, sorry, I wasn't in camera. And you can take these off if you want, but I just kind of left it on because it kept it a little bit more sturdy. It does have non-skid feet on the bottom of the glass mat. Slide this over. So it does have non-skid feet on it, but it also has these little curves. So I'm assuming you could take them off if you wanted to. It's just up to you. And then you get the cleaning mat, and then you get this silicone craft pad. So you can get that, or you can choose an extra $30 worth of merchandise. So again, there's two different offers. Offer one is you get all of these things. So you get the glass mat, you get the silicone, I'm going to say more of like a silicone tray, and the cleaning cloth, or you can choose $30 worth of more stuff in your starter kit. So again, celebration runs, I said February 20, I forgot it's leap year, February 29th. So it runs January 4th through February 29th. So I'll have all the details of this on my blog once I get it all posted. And then another great freebie is the paper I'm going to show you today when we create this card, okay? So let me scoot this out of the way. I'm actually going to just put this, oh, sorry, up there. I'm going to put our red ink. So today we're going to be making this really fun thank you card. And if you all have watched me before, you know I like to try to get as much as I can for my money, especially out of DSP. So I've been looking for cards lately that you can get more bang for your buck using DSP or designer series paper and pattern paper, whatever you want to call it. So this is a really nice, sweet, I'm sorry, my dog is so loud. Our neighbors, they had a flood many months ago in their house while they were on vacation, and they're just moving back in. So I can only assume it's probably them out there. We miss them so much, so we're so excited that they're back. So these dies, these are just some of the pieces I put on here. I didn't really glue them all because I was still in the process of working through some of them, and I shared this with you in another video recently, but it has a lot of parts and pieces that you can cut out. You can also cut these out from the dies. Now some of these you can see I've already cut because I have the paper ready for the card we're creating, but you can see this will die cut this. It's a tape measure. There are so many dies. You have a little pegboard, you have your chuck and your drill bit for your drill. I originally thought this was a key, which I still think pretty cool. You could use it for your tool chest if you wanted to make a toolbox. You can also use this. This is a handle for a box, or you can make multiple layers, like one of those big craftsman style. Lots and lots of dies. The paper you can use to cut this out. Cut out any of the things, so you can see, like, when you layer these together, they will cut. Of course, this paper has been trimmed down, so obviously it won't be the same. And you do also have these pliers that I originally didn't know what they were, but there are a lot of really great items. So the only thing I still haven't found is whatever this piece is. We were saying maybe it could be like an extension of a tape measure or a level. I'm not really sure, but it does also have a lot of images, so you can stamp and then die cut if you wanted to do it that way, or you can just die cut. You can layer pieces together. Lots of miles I can see coming out of this stamp. And the best part is, during celebration, you can choose this DSP, and it's 12 by 12. So this is the other side grid paper, which is really cool. So these are the two pieces I'm going to show you today, and then you have just a gray background with your screwdrivers. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to move this out of the way. I need to finish coloring this and then mounting it. But even has a little dot for your tape measure if you wanted to build it, and your little piece of tape. It's got a lot. There's definitely a lot of thought that went into this die set, that's for sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to use two pieces of DSP. These measure 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm layering together because what we're going to do is we're going to cut them crisscross, and then we're going to layer them onto our card. The other thing you could do if you were really trying to save paper is you could just crisscross cut this and then flip the top and the bottom pieces. So you would have two pieces that'd be grid paper and two pieces that would be the tools. You could do that with this as well if you were really trying to go for it. But I'm going to show you today how we did it with this. And then we used the Stylish Shapes. This is the square piece. This uses a piece of copper clay. I used a piece of crushed curry for the handle. I used some foil just for our hammer and our screws, and then the little banner punch for the thank you. But there's a lot of different sentiments in here that you could use. So you could do "You're the most awesome," "Happy Father's Day." I mean, you could use this for anything. We have a really nice stamp set that is, I cannot remember, perennial something that's coming out, but they're Mother's Day. You could make this because there's lots of moms that are very creative. So you could make this for that mom as well. So we're going to begin by getting out our trimmer, and we're going to line these two pieces up. This is probably the most difficult part, and quite honestly, it's not really that difficult. What you're going to do is you're going to have point and point in the tray. And when you're cutting DSP, because it is so much thinner than cardstock, I tend to move my cutting blade into the center. So just up and back, just like that. Now, if you wanted to, one of my club members suggested this. You just take a little piece of washi tape. I just want to make sure it doesn't stick very much. And you could put this right down here at a part you've already cut to keep it together, because now you're going to just turn. You want to make sure you keep your bottom together too. That's the other important part. Oh heavens, see, I should have just stuck with my original method because I was really doing well with that. So we're going to just line these back up. Just like that. Okay, and just make sure your images match as well as you can. That's why if you were doing this with one piece of cardstock, or designer series paper, I should say, it would be easier because you're just doing one piece. So I'm going to line this up again at the corner and the corner. So both of those corners are in the tray. And same thing again, I'm just going to slide my cutting blade in a little bit. And there you go. Now you have your 4 pieces, okay? So everything else is cut. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot this out of the way. So since we cut 2 different pieces, we could actually make 2 cards from this. Let me bring in my little kit here. So we're using a base of copper clay. And we're using a layer inside 4 by 5 1/4. And then you also need a layer for the front 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to layer these pieces onto that. And just going to crease this. So I'm going to put, you need 1 of each. And I'm actually going to do opposite because I did it the other way for the other card. So we'll do the opposite pieces for this one. Okay, and then you can make a second card if you would prefer, would be just like that. Or if you were just using one piece, and I'm going to just show you this so you can see what I mean. If you were just using one single piece of DSP, what you would do is you'd just flip it. So then you would have one piece just like that. So you could do it really simply with just one piece. All right, but I'm going to slide these out of the way and I'll make another card with this. And all we're going to do is just take some liquid glue and we're going to adhere these pieces down to our white layer. Now I do tend to always use thick white, honestly, just because it's easier for me to just know that I always have thick white on hand, because I make a lot of base cards with thick white, but you can use thick or regular basic white. I do still really miss the Whisper white. It was my favorite. It was so easy to blend on. And this, we are in the throes of Christmas preparation here. We wrapped probably, I think all but maybe 1 or 2 of our gifts. We have all our gifts wrapped. So next week we can focus on cookie baking once school finishes up. Okay, so in the center here, you might notice it's just a little bit off, but when we stamp this layer, you're not going to see it anyway, so it's okay if it's a little bit off, unless it's something that really bothers you. So we're going to just set this piece on the side. This is going to be for our inside, and what we're going to just do is just put this right here on the end before we stamp our sentiment in the middle. So that's going to be there. And then we need 1 piece of scrap, and then we need this one. So I'm going to show you. What did I do? I had my dies here a second ago. Where did you run away to? There they are. So we're going to use the second largest square. So this is stitch square, and I just did both pieces because I popped the center up and I glued the outside layer down. I'm going to just use my little piece of washi just to stamp that in place. I am going to stamp my sentiment first. It is a little bit close, and I think maybe we'll do a different sentiment for this one. I did thank you. Let's do You're the Most Awesome, because I haven't used that one yet. So that will be here. And I'm interested to see, because I haven't stamped on this yet with the glass mat, how the ink lays down. Let's see how this looks like. That is going to be a little bit, just a teeny bit too small. So I'm actually going to use the larger one, and we'll just do some partial die cutting with that. And then we also need a piece for the base of our hammer. So this is going to be a couple pieces. I'm going to cheat and use this one that I already have cut out for the top of the hammer. So just pretend like you didn't see that. I am going to cut out, though, if I can get this to fit. Yeah, that's close enough. I'm going to cut the entire base of this one because I like to, just instead of having just the top part, I like to have something to glue this piece down onto. And then we're going to do our nuts and screws, etc. So I'm going to grab one little piece over here. I feel like some of this already had some adhesive sheet on it. Let's see. Yep, right here. So you can see I cut my other ones out of here. So I'm going to cut this here. This already has adhesive sheet on the back. This has adhesive sheet on the back as well. So I'm going to just cut these out and this, but let's do this one first. So I'm going to bring this over. Okay. All right, now I'm going to stamp that in the center. Oh, well, that part didn't work. Let's see. So I'm going to just save myself the agony. I'm going to grab my silicone craft sheet and try this again. We'll see if this works this way. Maybe it was because I had the end piece up. Okay, so that's better. I have a little bit of ink smudge here, but so I'll have to practice with this. As I said, I've only literally used this for the past 10 minutes, so not really very much. I'm going to slide this up. Now for this one, what we're going to do, since this is so large, is I'm going to line it up like this, and I'm going to die cut, and then I'm going to move it back and bring this part back in. So I will show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, all of these are pretty small, so I'm going to just grab my mini cut and emboss machine, and we'll just have to do a couple passes. Okay, so we will do our hammer and just the little screws first. See if we can get all this on here. Okay, and we're going to just crank. Come on. Hold on, my stuff wasn't lined up correctly. There and there. Come on, you little bugger. Oh, this doesn't like to slide on here. Is that what it is? All right, well, you know what? Again, not my fave. I only usually use this if it's in a tight situation, but it must not be able to with the glass mat be making quite enough contact. So I'm going to cut these, and I'll just do all of them at the same time on my Big Shot. So I'm going to cut these and this and the square, and I'll cut this, and then just give me 1 second. I'll show you how to do the other part. Okay, and I wanted to bring this back just to show you. So I did these, this. Okay, so for this, it did the partial piece. Now, that is, you could put some little stuff on the end if you wanted to. So if you wanted to leave this longer, you could. You could put some nuts and some screws. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just slide this down, and I'm going to line it up so it's kind of lining up with those dots. And then I'm only going to cut, I'll bring it a little closer, right here. So instead of running the entire thing through, which you can, it doesn't really make a difference, I'm going to just put this part through so it just really cuts from here back, because I don't want to put undue pressure on the top of it, and then part of it maybe recut depending on how we are. So I'm really just going to send in just the end of it to put that little pennant in. Just to show you, all I did was I ran, and it did go a little bit wonky because I must not have had it in there quite. I think I had it coming, instead of coming straight, it must have been coming up a little bit because it did do a little curve, but we're going to stick with it because I don't want to make you wait for me to put that through again with the saga that was the other one. So just to kind of try to mask a little bit of that, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take the ends of this and just dip it. I'm not going to do the points, but it just gives a little bit of color to the edge. So it kind of almost confuses your eye as to whether or not it is or isn't in the right spot. So I'm going to put this away and move this over. And then for this one, what I did is I grabbed my Curry marker. I'm going to scoot this up out of the way. And this just kind of gives something that's very flat a little bit more tone. So I'm using just the brush tip, and I'm just coming along the edge. Just adding a little bit of shading, just like that, just so it gives a little bit of depth. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And then while we're here, see if I thought I put this one with a sticker. Let's see. No, maybe I didn't for this one. It's fine. So I'm going to just add a little bit of liquid glue to this and stick this on. Oh, the only thing is you want to try not to get glue onto your foil because it does leave a little bit of a residue. Okay, so there's our hammer. All right, then we have our other dual layer. Oh, fiddles, it didn't cut it all the way. I must not have had it far enough in there. Well, I gotta run this through one more time. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. It doesn't usually take me this much effort to die cut something. But this is what happens when you're using something for the first time live. As you guys know, I'm not one to edit things out. I like you to see exactly how it is, like how it goes, all that kind of stuff. It just makes me feel like I am really giving you exactly what you want to know. Okay, so we're going to pull these. I have these three little pieces. I'm going to pop those out. And I don't really necessarily mean live because I don't want to confuse any of you thinking that this is on now, but as we go, an unedited, unmodified, unfiltered version. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this on to our card base. And like that. Okay, and then this piece, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up the center, but I'm going to glue down the framed edge. So I'm going to put some dimensionals here. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times when you have something that's really, like when you watch someone, and I know people take time to edit things out because it's a time saver, and I get that because there can be times when I'm watching a video And maybe I'm like, oh my goodness, lady or gentleman or whoever you are, just get to the point already. But also at the same time, I don't want you to think that I'm giving you the version of what I want you to see. Whenever I am telling you something, I am telling you the honest truth about it, because I am not one to lie, because I would not want someone to do that to me. So this channel, although maybe a little bit long-winded, and sometimes you might feel like you want to fast forward, and that's fine, because I do not judge. You want to fast forward, you knock yourself out. And maybe, you know, everybody knows everything's not for everyone. If this channel isn't for you, that's totally fine. However, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the hammer. We have a fast forward button for that reason. And you can skip to the part that you need to see, maybe. Let's see if this will fit on there. Yep. I need a little piece for the center. But I hope that you know that at least I am giving you my honest take on something. I'm definitely not giving you the version of what I want you to see. Oh, that's a little too big. I'll cut one of these in half. Let's see if that works. Okay, nothing's peeping. All right, good. So let us grab, so we have this. We have a teeny bit of the edge there showing, but that's okay. Pull these off and place this, and then we'll place our other parts around it. I did put dimensionals on the bottom part of this on my sentiment here, just because I wanted it to line up. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do. But one thing I really do wish, I wish they had more, and I know some people don't like these things, so that aside, I should say, more things that were like punny, like you hit the nail on the head, or, and I know maybe this isn't something that Stampin' Up! Necessarily is going to come out with, but you know, you're screwed because you're screwing something in, or you're totally cut out for this and you could have the blade, you know, any of those kind of things. I wish they would come out with like an auxiliary sentiment set. Maybe that would be my best thing. Not necessarily that it was included in the main set, and I should have moved these up a little bit so I can, because they're just a little close and I want to put the sentiment. Let's see where this is. I want to put the sentiment under here. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to give those a final push. But just something where, like, if you wanted to buy an auxiliary group of sentiments that said, I've even I hate to say this the way I'm going to say it, but like slightly inappropriate, because nothing that I said is terrible. I mean, the most it's kind of funny. But just something like that. I think that would be a great idea. So you could have some alternate things, because not everybody has a printer that they can print out their own sentiments. Not everybody has the time to do that. And sometimes people just don't think of those funny kind of things. You know, they rely on somebody else to think of the hilarious comebacks that you could say with your stamp set. You know, you really measure up. You really measure up. That would be great. Maybe you're just not cut out for this. Or you are cut out for this. You know, you could have like 2 alternate things. You know, sorry, somebody threw a wrench in your day. Those kind of things would, I think, would be so perfect to add to these type of stamp sets. And I did get just a little smidgy of glue here, but okay, so that's what it looks like. And then I did put my piece. Oh, I have dimensionals everywhere here. I did put my piece on the inside there, but I think I'm going to put it on the opposite on this one. So it's going to put in here. And yes, it is just a teeny bit shorter because I just used the leftover pieces I had, since I had already cut these down to 3 3/4 by 5, but I don't really think it's trivial, and whether or not anybody's going to care about that. And then you could totally put some sort of another really sentiment. You know, you're the most awesome because you came and tightened up my toilet seat for me, or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure people could think of lots of funny things. And also, you have to think of this too, like craftsmen, plumbers, husbands, wives, whoever it is making these cards. You know, a lot of times you're sending them something, they fixed something for you, or they built you a cabinet, or whatever the case may be. You know, it's like something that will be a nice thank you, but also would make them chuckle. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm hoping we're going to maybe come out with some more, like a Tools 2.0 or upgraded version, you know, Tools, the electric version, the plug-in version. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there and hoping maybe somebody's going to be listening, and maybe one day they'll come out with something and they'll be like, oh, we have sentiments that kind of go with all this other stuff. So we'll see. Thank you so much though for watching this. This Trusty Tools is a bundle that will be available January the 4th. And again, you can get the 12x12 DSP. It's really cool. It has lots and lots of different sides to it. There are lots of things you can die cut as well. So if you didn't necessarily want to cut or to stamp these, you can just use the dies to cut these out. And they actually have 2 different full 12x12 sheets of tools. One of them has a huge saw on it, has drills, has, you know, a lot of these you can also cut out because we don't have a handsaw die, but that would be pretty easy to cut out. But if you were looking for something to make a bunch of cards with, that or using the one sheet, I mean, these would be great to make a bunch of cards for handy people you know that are fixing stuff. Maybe you know somebody that has like a little bit of a fix-it business or something. And then the other cool thing I wanted to show you about the paintbrush is the paintbrush actually has this little part down here, so you can color in the handle, and then you could leave this like a nude, like a new brush would be. And then this is just the dip at the end of the paint. It's like you stuck it in paint and dipped it. So has a lot of really great possibilities. So that was the Trusty Tools. And then I also used, I believe it was the Stylish Shapes. Stylish Shapes were the square. And then we did some partial die cutting to get this a little bit wider, but a little bit shorter die personalized for that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or any opinions about anything I talked about here, please feel free to share them in the comments, because I love to hear what you guys have to say about those types of things. Kind of makes me feel like I'm not alone in sometimes the crazy things that I think. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by and putting up with me through this video today. If you'd like to see more, you can turn on the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, so when I do create a new video, it will let you know that there is one there to watch. Thank you so very much for watching. If you have a friend that you think would like to see this video or find this hilarious, please be sure to share this with them as well, because that is the easiest way to support me. That costs you no dollars. You can like the video, you can subscribe, turn on the notifications, and then share it with a friend. Thank you so very much for watching. If you'd like to get any of these supplies and more, you can hit my online store 24/7, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Thank you for watching.